and welcome to part 4 of our annual forum video. In this part, Sara is going to talk to you about how we develop new training and some new courses that we have to offer you, and I'll be talking about workplace stress assessments.
I'm Sara. I'm going to talk about the new courses that we have coming up. So we've got the Working at Height course, which is a previous course we've done, but we're doing some amendments with that. We've got the low-level access platform that comes from PASMA, and we've also got a brand new course, which is the Harness for Users course. Now, when it comes to actually developing courses, we don't just open up the laptop and flash up PowerPoint and start off producing a course. It takes quite a while, a lot of planning, a lot of sticky notes putting around a blackboard, enabling us to sort of figure out the flow of the courses. So it's a really fluid way of actually putting these courses together. So the first course I want to start talking about is the Harness for Users course. And it's essential for people who are using harnesses and also people that are managing, planning the work at height activities, especially when it's involving personal fall protection equipment. Now, this half-day course will cover harness fittings, so we'll actually get the user into a harness. We will then talk about the intermediate equipment, so that's everything that goes from the back of the harness to the anchorage point, and it's really important we get the right intermediate equipment depending on the environment that you're working in, the heights that you're working from. So we'll talk about the different selections there. We then talk about the anchorage points. Now, anchorage is really important because, again, that will be dictated by either the fall arrest application for the intermediate or restraint systems. What we find that happens quite commonly is that the wrong piece of equipment, fall protection equipment, is used with the wrong type of anchorage point. For example, in a cherry picker, the anchorage point is only rated to 300 kilograms. So the only piece of intermediate equipment that is suitable in there is a restraint system. And what we see most commonly is a fall arrest system, which is not adequate, and there's many reasons for that. So again, this course will take you through that, so it'll give you an understanding what is appropriate fall protection equipment for the different environments and the different anchorage points. The Working at Height awareness course, again, that's a really popular existing course that we have, but we're going to be updating it, just making sure that it complements the Harness for Users course. And again, it's going to be relevant for those that are planning, managing, working at height activities, looking at access, looking at rescue requirements as well for evacuation or recovery in a case of emergency. Again, this is a half-day course, and as I said, a popular course, and it'll take you through the Working at Height Regulations 2005, and it'll also give you that all-important hierarchy of control. The third course I want to talk to you about is the PASMA low-level access. Now, that is for access platforms below 2.5 meters. So we already run the Tower for Users course, which is everything above 2.5 meters. But we have a lot of trades that wouldn't be working at that height, and there's a bit of a misconception that actually just doing a PASMA for Tower course will actually include that low-level access, which it doesn't. So the new course, the low-level access course, is there for trades who will be working underneath 2.5 meters. And again, this is a one-day course. We also do a combined course which will give the Tower for User and also the low-level access as well, and that's one day. So that's a really, really good course for multiple trades that will be working above 2.5 and also below 2.5 meters. Thank you for listening. And next is Zoe to talk about workplace stress assessments.
Thanks, Sara. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about workplace stress. This has been in the news and in our minds a heck of a lot recently, and something that we need to get involved with. So first of all, there are good types of stress and bad types of stress. Interesting, challenging situations are sometimes what makes our job interesting, what makes our lives interesting. The problem arises when we have too much stress going on for a prolonged period of time, and this can cause some serious problems. The impact of workplace stress can have many different effects on individuals, physical and psychological, and of course on the organisations themselves, As a company, there can be significant problems arising from this, including, of course, many of the issues of absences from work that you would have seen in Leon's video earlier on. The legal requirements that we have to our employees for workplace stress are actually quite straightforward. We have at the top of the tree a Health and Safety at Work Act, requiring us to ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, the health, safety and welfare at work of all of our employees. Now this includes their mental health as well as their physical health, and this includes short-term and long-term issues. So we have a very clear legal requirement. That's your Act of Parliament level. One notch down from that, we have the Management of Health and Safety at Work regulations, and these require us to carry out risk assessments, to look for hazards, to look for the things that have the potential to cause us harm. And one of those things is workplace stress. The next level down from the regulation level, so you've got Act, regulation, is guidance. Now the HSE has provided some very clear guidance for us on workplace stress. They've provided what's called the management standards, and I'm going to go through these one by one. The first management standard, of which there are 6, is the issue of demands. What are the demands on the individual? Are they excessive, essentially? Is it possible for this person to actually do their job? The second is control. How much influence does a person have over the way they actually do their job? Thirdly, we have the business of support, and this is split into support from management and support from colleagues. How does this go within the organisation? Do I know I have the support of my management structure if I have a problem at work? Or is there nothing there for me if I'm in trouble? Next we have relationships. Now these are extremely important in the workplace. What kind of relationships are there between the different parts of the workforce? Is there bullying, racism, threat? These might sound extreme, but some places really do experience these problems, and the HSE has written these standards to encompass the best to the worst. So that's our next one. We have the issue of the role, and this is something which is so easy to overlook, I think, particularly if people have been with a business for a long time and their role has mutated. So essentially, the management standard of role is about how clearly do we know what we actually are supposed to be doing for a job. Is this clearly defined? Is it discussed? Am I finding myself doing things that I shouldn't be doing, or am I not doing things that I should be doing and I don't even know about it? Last is the issue of change. How well do we manage and react to change? How well do we prepare people for it? How well do we deal with it? So those are your 6 management standards, okay? Demand, control, support, relationships, role and change. And the HSE has put good guidance in place and an excellent tool by which we can measure how well we're doing with those management standards. Our job at HCS Safety, of course, is to provide solutions for you for these challenges, and our solutions come in 2 ways. First of all, we have training that we can offer. It's so important to understand these things properly. So we have a 1-day or half-day, if you prefer, course all about preventing and managing workplace stress. We can do this here as an open course, where you might find other people in the room who work for different companies and have got lots of interesting experiences to share, or we can come to you at your company and talk specifically about your company's issues. Both have advantages, the choice is yours of course. We also have our risk assessment workshops, giving really good insight into how to navigate this actually quite simple world of risk assessment, but frequently a misunderstood one. Then we have the other side of the risk management coin, if you like. We have how do we deal with situations which may already have arisen, and we do this in the form of first aid for mental health. 2 courses for you on this one, 1 day and a 2-day supervisor's version. So that's the training. The next solution is stress assessments. This is really getting into the world of risk assessment for the problem that is stress. So in order to find out where we are, we need to assess the risks. The best way to do this is to use the HSE written 35-question questionnaire, which essentially asks all of your staff how they see themselves in relation to those management standards. What we can do for you here at HCS Safety is we can gather that data for you. We can gather the responses from your employees, analyse the data and produce a report for you that essentially says this is how you're doing within those 6 management standard areas. We can provide general advice based on what we see in that report, but we can also, if you want, refer you to more HR related expertise with our partners, Warner Goodman Solicitors. For any questions that you might have about workplace stress within your business, please just call us, you know we're here.